welcome to the podcast, guys. We got our special guest, Ignacio Ureno from California, right?
Yes, sir. Northern California.
So, Ignacio, you own the Builder Solution.
The Builder Solution.
Right?
President of the Builder Solution. Yes, sir.
Material handling expert.
Yep.
Right?
Material handling experts.
Hey, I just want to thank you for flying in, man. Like, that's really cool. We're young, we're up and coming, and so are you.
No, I appreciate the opportunity, and just the last day itself, it's been worth it. All the time we've spent, and the knowledge and the experience, like, it's been great. I know we're about to do this podcast, and everyone doesn't really know what we've been talking about, and we've been hanging around, but the things I've been exposed to, some of the conversations we've had, I just want to say thank you.
Yeah.
It's great, and meeting you in person now, it's been great. This has been a great experience for me.
That's cool. Yeah, I'm glad you're here, man. So listen, like, tell the audience, because you're gonna have an audience, I'm gonna have an audience. People want to learn about you. Tell us a little bit about your life, maybe, like, as a kid, just as a kid growing up, so maybe 18. How did that look for you? Because we know you have a background. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So growing up, I grew up in kind of a dysfunctional family. Okay. My mom was a drug addict. My dad, he worked a lot. He was from Mexico, and he just worked a lot. And they got divorced at a young age. I was 11, and that kind of affected me. So that led me into incarceration. So I was tied up in the system from about the age of 12 to 19. And but when I did get released, 19, I just worked in construction and material handling. It just kind of been the path I've been on, just working.
Yeah. So, so you seen, so like, from child born, whatever, till 11, your parents were together.
Parents were together.
Was that like a good, honest home? Like, was that like?
It was. In my perspective, what I remember, I always remember having a great home. I played baseball.
Nice.
My parents, I believed that I was going to go to the league.
There it is.
So that's how I know the divorce, it does have an impact. But,
it does.
Growing up, I remember having a great childhood.
Yeah, yeah. And then so like they broke up. Your dad, did he leave state? What, like?
No, he stayed. He stayed. Same city, same everything. But there was just the whole conflict of what.
Now you're hearing stories from both sides.
Yes.
He said, she said, she's a bad mom. He's a bad dad.
Play the sides.
Yeah, and then they're seeing other people probably.
Yep.
And then confusion.
Yep. It was that, and then that just kind of. It took effect. I didn't realize it at the time. I thought, I was just some tough guy, running the streets and stuff. But it was now as I'm older, I see that it was that led me.
So like, you're young. The divorce happens. What leads you to just want to run down that wrong path? Like, were you living in that neighborhood? Did you have family members in the gangs, or what was it that, like? Because something had to entice you over and grab you in.
Yeah, my brothers and sisters were already kind of heading towards that path. They were using drugs, hanging out with gang members. Yeah. So I was exposed to that.
They were cool. They were older?
Yeah, they were older.
All right.
So I just kind of piggybacked off that in school, found same gangs, matched, and created those relationships. And then that becomes your new family. And then your loyalty just kind of ties into them.
So like when you started running around, did you stop going home much? Were you just gone all the time?
I was gone all the time.
Just creating havoc.
Yeah, creating. But and again, my parents were going through a divorce, so it was really easy to just go and live on the streets and do whatever I wanted. I lived with my mom, and
no, she wasn't paying attention really much.
Yeah, she was dealing with what she was dealing with.
Yeah.
And I was such a hard-headed kid. They didn't want to put much effort into me because I think I was such a handful that the moment I got caught in the system, they just kind of left me in the system
Yeah,
They let the
system deal with you.
Let the system deal with me
because you weren't listening to nobody.
I wasn't listening to nobody. I was a hard head, and they just let the system deal with me, and I became a ward of the state. And in and out. And then when I was 15, that's when I did my last sentence. But that was a 4-year straight. So I from 15 to 19.
You're incarcerated.
I was incarcerated 3 years in YA. And then as soon as I turned 18.
Adult prison? Did you go to adult prison?
Yeah. I went to county jail first. I was only supposed to do 3 years. But my brother got caught bringing me drugs into the facility I was in. So
that's a nice brother.
Yeah. So the judge just told us, long story short, somebody needs to go down for this. And I was already 3 years in, so I figured another year wouldn't hurt. And from YA, got released to the county 1 week, and then got shipped to prison.
Bro, prison life. I never been in prison. I got in a lot of trouble, but was that scary? You're 18. I mean, you were already in jail, so you thought you're a tough guy anyways, right? You're fighting already. You're working out already. But was it different? Like, you see some big old grown men now, like you see some big kids, but now you see big grown men.
Yeah, I kind of went through that in YA because the age limit there is up to 25 years old.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so you're already with grown men. Yeah, there was grown men, and I mean,
so you already dealt with it.
You're already, they call it gladiator school.
Okay,
was what it was called in California.
Yeah, so you're dealing with all that.
Dealing with it, yeah. So when I went to prison, that was the goal. I had a fixed mindset, and my goals weren't
prison.
Yeah, prison.
Not build a company, but go to prison.
Prison. That was my
dude. That's crazy how that's kids' goals in the street. Like the poverty mindset, the hood mindset says bad. Like, it's bad. There's nothing good. To think you're like a young kid and you're like, I just gotta go to prison.
That's right. No, yeah. So when I was sentenced to prison, to me it was like, all right, that's right. I'm gonna go to prison now. And as soon as I go to prison, I'm gonna go volunteer. I'm gonna go be on the squad team, and I'm gonna go put in work. I had this whole map.
So I'll go become a soldier.
And fortunately for me, it didn't seem like a good thing at the time. But fortunately for me, is because there's always so much problems in the California prison. We were on lockdown.
Yeah.
So
it kind of kept it away from a lot of that yard work, yard stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So when I went to Tracy DVI, we were on lockdown. There was a war with another race, green light war. So they weren't allowing us to integrate with them. And then
so green lights smashed on
instantly. And it wasn't even hands. It was a weapon only. So you had to have a piece.
Yeah.
And if you seen a rival, then you had to.
Dude, that's crazy because growing up as a kid too, it's all of us are prison. Yeah. It's are we gonna live till we're 18? And then if we do, we got to go to prison. Your prison gave you your stripes.
Yes.
It's crazy how when you're growing up in that gang environment, you get your stripes from prison. Not go to military, not get a job.
Yeah.
Go to prison.
That's right.
It's crazy, huh?
Yeah, I think what it is our environment. We think it's normal.
Yeah.
We think it's normal, and then thankfully we get to this age and we get to where we're at now, and we're just like, oh man, thank you God, thank you God.
Yeah, you're a living testimony, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you go to prison, you get out 19. What made you you hear these stories. I know the guards. I remember I didn't go to prison, I went to jail, but I remember the guards oh, you'll be back.
Yeah.
So you hear all these stories you'll be back. You'll be 80% come back, whatever. Right?
Yeah, I heard that a lot. That was actually one stuck with me. There was this staff, and he told me that. He's like, oh, I already know your story. I already know your story. Prison or death. I already know your story. And that kind of just stuck with me. But I accepted it. I was like, yeah, that's right. It ain't going to be death, but probably prison. You're probably right. But that's what I wanted at the time. Thankfully, I didn't get what I wanted.
What do you think saved you from that?
When I got out, my wife and the grind.
All right.
But the grind kept me busy. The work, right? So I got out. I remember getting out of prison on a Wednesday, and I had a job on Monday. So my brother, He worked for a roofing company, and he had lined everything up for when I got out. I had a job, and that was the huge stepping stone. I needed that. It kept me occupied and busy and away from the environment that I was used to.
Yeah. So like the simple transition, living a bad life, change, start working.
That's right. And
that's simple.
Yeah. And because I was so young growing up in the system, my mind wasn't really molded. It was still kind of a blank sheet because all I really knew was gangs and the system.
Yeah.
But when I got out and my brother taught me work, I had a blank mind. So he was trying to keep me focused, but he was like, hey, you need to work hard. You need to show up. He didn't let us drink water.
Yeah.
We never took lunch, but that kind of, I thought that was normal too. I was like, oh man, you have to work. Like this is what we do. We work hard. We don't drink water. We don't take breaks.
Yeah.
We don't eat lunch. We just work.
That's like war, like rules of engagement, like etiquette in golfing. Like there's certain things you do, don't do, right?
Yeah.
But like certain things you do that just work. Like you just do certain things and you just work.
And so I did tear off, and we were paid by the square footage.
Okay.
So it was just it was a hustle, which was great for me because it taught me a lot of work ethic.
So you like the work ethic? Did you like the money as well? Like getting money now? You weren't in prison, like getting a nice check and all that stuff.
Yeah, I got released with $200, so I thought I was big timing.
Oh, and $200 you're big timing.
Yeah, and then my first. My average check was probably around $500. I was
pretty good.
Yeah, I was doing around
back then, right?
$25,000-$30,000 a year, and I thought I
right
was,
out of prison. Yeah,
I thought I was the man.
Right,
I was the man. I felt like I was the man, but I think it was the satisfaction of just working hard for the check.
It was yours.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I worked for it. Yeah. I worked for it. I showed up, and blood, sweat, and tears.
And then you met your wife.
I met my wife. It was instant. We moved really quick. So I met my wife like 1 week after I got released. We got into a relationship. 5 months later, we actually got married.
Okay.
We connected really fast, and San Jose was a very expensive area. We were going to move to another city, but the only way I could move to another city because I was on parole was my PO was like, well, you got to be married if you want to move out of the county. And I was like, I'll get married, no problem. So 5 months from my release, I actually got married, and still married to this day.
Yeah. So how long is that? How long you been married now?
12 years.
12 years, bro.
12 years.
How many kids you got?
4 kids.
12 years, 4 kids. What a blessing.
Yeah.
Like she took you on, huh?
Yeah.
You were like a project to her. I know I was a project to my wife.
Yeah, she was big, and she was big in church, and I think it was just, I think it was faith, it was destiny. She was going through some things, personal with her family, and her family comes from different country, so how that could be very rough, and yeah, we were just made for each other. We were going through some stuff, and then I just told her, I was like, hey, come move in with me and I'll take care of you. And she took the chance, and I just kept my promise. Like as soon as she moved in, she put it all on the line for me. We went to go rent a bedroom, $400 a month, and that's where it started. We were like, let's go. And I felt like she gave it all for me. I'm gonna give it all for her.
That's the key, bro. Like that, like. People don't understand, when the honor in that, like honor is kind of gone these days,
Yeah.
So, just the fact that you're like, okay, I understand what she's doing, so I'm going to give it back, whether she understands it or not.
Right.
That's honor, bro.
Yeah.
That's like, right. People call it ride or die. But, so you've been married 12 years, 4 kids, what, boys, girls, what?
I got 3 girls and 1 boy.
Okay.
My boy's the oldest.
Oh, that's like me.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
In the house we got, yeah. So what's their age grade?
So
range?
my son's 11, my daughter's 9, my other one's 5, And then I got a young one too.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Now you plan on having any more?
No way. No more. I'm done.
Lot of work.
Yeah. I'm done. You know, I'm done. And nothing, you know, I rushed into the kids.
Yeah.
And, you know, now thankfully you know, we lived it and we survived it, but we could have positioned ourselves a little better. So now I tell people, I'm like, take your time.
Yeah. Plan the kids, actually.
Plan
but
the
hey,
kids.
Mexicans don't plan kids,
no,
bro.
No. We just
I think almost every nationality don't plan kids except like Anglo-Americans. Like they plan kids, right? Like,
yeah.
Like Russians, Chinese. I don't know. Well, maybe I don't know about Chinese, but like a lot of people just don't plan kids. Like, but I know like the Mexicans and Mexican Americans, like
no,
they just go at it. Start having kids, bro.
Yeah, and that's how we were. And again, I think it goes to our environment. But like I was always told, like, oh, that's the right thing. That's what you do. You get married and you have kids. Which is right, I agree. Yeah. But
they forgot to tell you how to work and pay for them.
Yeah, they forgot to tell us how to work, pay for them, plan for them. You know, maybe get yourself together first.
Yeah, can you handle it?
Right. Yeah. So but it's the environment.
It's cool, man. Like you know, I have 4 kids at home, and you know, like 2 of them are in college now. So you're gonna have a couple of them being in college at the same time.
Right.
The 5-year-old won't be in at the same as the 9-year-old, right? But the 9, 11. Those guys are gonna the 2. They're gonna be in some university at the same time.
Yeah.
And you're gonna be doing really well at that time. So you ain't getting no free money, bro.
Yeah.
You're paying for that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
you're paying the Cali prices.
That's right.
You know
That's
I mean?
right. Yeah.
But you know, and hopefully they'll pick a good university that's not all crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got a crazy one in your area, bro. My sister went there.
What's that?
Berkeley.
Oh, Berkeley. Yeah, it is. It is crazy.
My sister went there, dude. It's crazy.
Yeah,
she came back different.
We do a lot of work over there, and you know, it's a free spirit town.
They're crazy. Yeah, it's a whole different world over there.
It definitely is.
Yeah, her whole thought process changed. Everything changed when she was done.
Down in Berkeley.
Everything changed, bro. She was like just different and lazier.
Yeah, you could go to the next city over, and it'll be completely different from Berkeley. Berkeley is definitely a unique city.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Yeah, it's crazy. You know, so you're with your wife. You cleaned up. You know, you're working. So you went from roofing, and then after roofing, is that how you got into material handling?
Yes. So I had family that was in the supply industry. You know, truck drivers, stockers.
Yeah.
And there was a job opening in San Francisco that they told me about. So I went and applied there. Actually, my mom told me. My mom was like, hey, there's this job. They're hiring. It's a warehouse job. And they're paying $16 an hour. And that was, you know, that was a lot of money.
How long ago was this?
About 11 years ago.
So that's what, like 2010, 2011?
Probably like 2011, 2012.
Okay.
I'm not sure the exact date, but around 11 or 12.
Okay.
So she told me about the job. I went there, talked to the branch manager. The warehouse position got filled because someone else applied with experience. I didn't have any experience in the industry. But they could, you know, these suppliers, they could always use material handlers. So I just went in and I talked to the branch manager, and I'll never forget. By that time, I was still on parole, but my wife was pregnant. And I remember just telling the branch manager, like, if you give me a chance, just give me a chance, please. I really need this job. And when I applied for this job, I was doing the roofing, and then I was driving produce at night. So I was working 2 jobs.
So you went from 2 jobs to 1 job.
To 1 job, yeah. And that position allowed me to quit my second job. But it was just because that job, we worked a lot of hours. We were working 16, 20 hours, but at least we were getting overtime. When I worked 2 jobs.
Which job? Oh,
the one yeah.
So it basically covered you.
It covered me, yeah.
Do you think, like, so you got the material handling job. When you changed from roofing and produce to material handling, you know, was your wife like, no, keep your other jobs, or should like do whatever you think you need to do, or, you know, Did you hear anything like that?
She was for it. You know, like I said, we were $16 an hour. To us, that was.
So what was the other job paying? Like what?
While the produce, I was making $11 an hour.
That's $5 more.
Yeah, and then the roofing was piecework, which was great
if you worked.
If you worked, exactly. So, you know, that one varied from $100 to $200 a day.
Yeah, yeah. So you didn't know what was going down. Like there was no consistency.
There was no consistency. More consistency in the produce, but just not enough to
$5 less, right?
Yeah.
So I can see the move. You know, obviously one of the best things you've ever done. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I mean, not the best, but one of the best, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Your wife's probably your best move.
Yeah. No, she definitely was. I always think that. I'm like, man, where would I be if
because you met her right when you got out. You could have easily went back in that world.
1 week.
She gave you a purpose. You're like, I'm fighting for this.
That's right. And yeah, so it was new. Like dating and everything was new to me. I grew up in the system.
Yeah.
So, and I was a fat kid.
Well, and you're around a bunch of dudes all the time because you've been in prison forever.
Yeah, exactly. So I, you know, when I got out and she was so beautiful, and so it just, you know, it was easy to attach.
Yeah.
So
greatest thing.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
I love it. So you were in the material handling, and you know, like, how long were you doing it before you decided to start your business?
Well, I was in the material handling, slowly just, you know, working my way up. I worked a lot of hours, took work whenever I could. I was always hungry. I grew up, you know, poor, broke, you know, so I always try to work as much as I could. I love 60, 70-hour weeks. And then I had an opportunity, a supervisor, well, someone had called me that I worked for at that company, and they had moved to go be a supervisor at another company, and they called me about an opening, and they asked me if I would like to come and apply. So I took the opportunity. It was closer at this time. I lived in a city named Gilroy.
Oh yeah.
And
hey, you have that. Is that where Fonte Farms is or whatever?
Yeah.
Dude, I want to go there. Is it still open?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, the crazy trees.
Yeah, that's crazy that you know about that.
Hey,
yeah.
Do you live over there still?
I don't. I moved away.
Dude, I found that place like 15 years ago, and I told my wife we're gonna go here one day. I don't care if it sucks. I just love the trees.
Yeah. No, that's crazy. You know that.
Yeah.
So I lived out there, and I was driving to San Francisco. The commute was horrible. So I had this opportunity to go and apply for a supervisor role. Applied. It worked out. You know, found out I was a fit for the company. This is I was, you know, about 5 years into the industry by then. And I actually appreciate, you know, this company that gave me the role for that actually played a huge role in where I'm at today, because one was just the belief that I could do that, right? Yeah. And then it really opened my mind after that.
That's the supervisor role.
The supervisor, because after I became a supervisor there, better pay, better overall package, and then a few years later, they promoted me to the regional manager position, which just really opened my mind. And, you know, then I just realized, and I worked a lot just because I thought that's what everyone did. I thought that was normal. Yeah. You know, just work, provide a living. Again, my mindset was kind of empty. Yeah. Just, you know.
So, you know, taking the step from, say, material handler, you're going out driving, loading, stocking, all that good stuff, and they're like, "Hey, we want to give you promotion to supervisor." Were you afraid when that conversation? You're like, the next step, like, "Babe, is this okay? What do you think?" Like,
yeah,
how'd that go down in your mind?
I didn't believe it.
Okay,
I couldn't believe it, and it was for a new company, but I couldn't believe it. But I knew that it was an opportunity that I had to take. And when I did take the opportunity, I mean, I'm sure like most people, I had a huge target on my back.
Yeah.
I had guys that were working under me who trained me.
Yeah, they were older than you, right?
They were older than me. They trained me at that previous company, and then they wound up there. So then when I became a supervisor, there was that fight. Yeah. Right? I know more than you. I trained you. Yeah. Right? So I had to overcome that.
That's crazy.
And I always overcame that through work though.
Yeah.
So I just worked. I never. I just worked. You know.
What's crazy is I have a story very like kind of similar to that. Is so when I became a foreman at 20, right? And I remember, so they put me. I switched the company, same thing, to get the opportunity. And so I'm new. They gave me a partner. He's new, right? He's older than me. I'm 20. This dude's probably, if I had to guess, he's probably 26, 28, whatever. Already a journeyman. I'm a foreman, but I'm still learning everything, right?
Right.
He looks at me and says, "I ain't working for you," and leaves. And I'm like, "Well, that sucks," right? And I had to finish the job by myself, right? Years later, right? Now I'm much better, and I'm at a different company, and we hire him, right? And he's got to work for me again.
How did he take that?
He was fine this time.
He worked that time?
Yeah. You know what's crazy though? Is that dude, it's all true stories. That dude, so this is ironic, bro. He didn't fight with me this time because I was like, "You good? You gonna work for me this time?" He was a big dude, so he looked the same, you know.
Right.
And so I just got hired on at this company. I was a foreman, and he was gonna be my partner. They put me on a brand new job, bro, like day one. Dude goes on those Perry multi-purpose scaffolds, those little yellow ones, falls off, breaks his rib. Hey, he's gone, bro. That's it. Horrible. Broke his rib. First day, he was gone. He left the first day of the other job. He was done the first day of this job. I had to finish this job by myself.
Oh, that's crazy.
Same dude, same scenario, different companies. I swear to people are like, "Why do you swear to God?" Well, that's what I swear to. But like same scenario, same dude.
Yeah.
But he hated, bro. Yeah, just like you're saying, all the dudes that hated.
Yep. Not a universal match. That's right.
That's crazy. So they're hating on you. You're supervisor. And then at what point do they say, "Hey, we're bumping you up"? Like, what did you say, branch manager, like operations manager?
Yeah, operations manager. Yeah. It took about 3 years.
Was that so? When they came to you, was that another feeling?
It came out of nowhere.
Yeah. Were you scared? Were you nervous? Were you happy? Were you everything?
I was excited. Yeah, definitely. I was excited. But at that time, I was hungry.
Yeah.
I was looking for growth. Like I needed growth. I need, I can't stay stuck. I need more. I need to improve. I can't just be the same. I had to grow.
So they came to like, "Hey, Ignacio, we got this position. Operations," and so basically you're in charge of dispatch, probably
the field, the
trucks, the yard, or the yard as well.
Anything outside of the yard, everything that went out.
Boom, deliveries, yards, boom, all the guys,
working with the branches on logistics, what material to ship in, how much material to ship, manpower, equipment.
Yeah. So when the delivery went wrong, they came straight to you.
Oh yeah, I was the guy.
It don't matter who's in the truck.
Yeah.
What's going on? You go back to dispatch, go to the front desk person who made the order. Everybody, huh?
It makes you strong. It makes you strong when you're constantly into that. But it keeps you on your game.
Yeah,
keeps you on your game, and that's what.
So were there haters in that position? Like, so when you went to that position, were there's people kind of attacking you, or you were kind of made known already?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, when I got to that position, it was attacks from. Now I started getting attacked from the office end. So
you're inching your way in.
Yeah. So the attacks were no longer coming from my peers.
Yeah.
It was more of other management. And that's actually what pushed us to open the business is. The attacks and the disconnect.
Yeah.
And we were one company feeling like we were working for two companies.
So like the operations dispatch was like one little, like the drivers were one, like the delivery guys and material handlers were one like.
Yes. Yeah. And then office was one and then the field was another.
Instead of everybody working together.
Yeah. Instead of everyone working together, making everyone's job easy, it was a big blame game of why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you got that position, did you hear any besides like the haters in the office, and how'd your wife feel? How'd your how like everyone around you? How was that feeling? I'm just curious, because celebrations are celebrated, defeats are it's
yeah. I was definitely like in everyone's head, I think like I was what they thought was successful. Like,
oh, yeah. So you're the manager, boom, we're moving up.
That's right. You know, you got the truck, you got good salary, you know, you make your own schedule. Everything they paint. And so everyone applauded me for it, definitely.
You got everything, right? You got all the benefits and
right. Yeah. You have it good. You have it made.
You have it made. Don't lose your job. Don't
it.
screw this up.
That's right.
Don't screw this up, Ignacio.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, did you hear some of that stuff?
No, I never heard that.
But you felt that.
Yeah, I never heard that. I don't even keep those kind of people around me. You know, but I'm always, like I said, I've always been the type of person that's just looking for growth, and I think like my circle and everyone around me, they know that I'm always pushing for a little bit more.
Yeah. I think the fact that you like, you know, you went up and you took that next position, then you took that next position, it shows like who you are, you know, that, you know, because like people can say anything. They got their own definitions of leaders, of bosses, of whatever, right? And, you know, I think you can say what a leader is. Well, a leader doesn't lead his team, or, you know, doesn't leave them behind, doesn't do this. Well, what a form of a leader too is someone that takes the risk.
Right.
In order to take a risk, I'm sorry, people watching, you have to leave people behind.
That's right.
It's just what it is.
That's right.
You know, you took the risk, but you also knew that I leave some behind, I bring some with me.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So people don't talk about all that, right?
Yeah.
So I like that, you know. So you're there, you're leading your operations. There's haters hating on you.
Yep.
And you said it led you to start your own business, to build a solution. How did it lead to you starting the business?
I got to a point. I even put this on my notice when I gave my company my notice.
Yeah.
I realized I was waking up and I was not happy going to work.
Yeah.
And to me, that was a huge red flag, because I like to wake up, exercise, let's go.
Yeah.
And I wasn't there anymore, and I just wasn't happy. So when I was actually meditating, I was on a hike, and I was, you know, weighing out my options, like, what am I gonna do? What's next? Because sometimes when you get into those positions, they're unique positions, and they're high, you know, high level positions. They're hard to find. They can be hard to find, and especially when you're promoted within, it can be hard to reach out and find the same thing. Mm-hmm. So I was meditating on it, and then that's when I was like, you know what, I'm gonna make the decision. I'm just gonna go and open a business. Actually, my two options was to go open a business or become a professional fighter. That was my thought process. But I emailed the company and I just let them know that, which I still stand by. And I encourage anyone, you know, if they ever feel that way, just really think about where you're at and leave. But I thought it wasn't fair for the company. If I'm not happy,
unless you work for me.
Yeah, well, no, but if our energies don't align.
No, yeah, if you're not feeling it, you got to go.
Yeah,
like,
because
you're not good for nobody.
You're a cancer. You're a cancer, and it's going to be very difficult to get up and do your job 100%. You know.
It's not fair to the boss, like to the company you work for, or to yourself. You know, it's a disservice all the way around.
Exactly, and especially like I was fighting with other managers and upper management.
It's getting ugly.
Yeah, and it was just like hey, and the owner of the company, he's a great person. Yeah. So I have nothing but respect for the owner. Like he's such he was down to earth, treated you like a human.
Yeah.
Right. He wasn't too good for you. Very respectful, and I believe he believed in people, and that's why I say that company had a huge impact on me. But once I seen it, it wasn't fair. I knew that I wasn't able to perform 100%. I mean, I'm always able to perform 100%, but you know, when you're at your best, you're creative. You're different. Yeah. You're a different kind of monster, and I wasn't really able to fully be myself there. So it was just best I parted ways.
So you parted ways. Did you like start the business immediately? Did you, were you starting it while you're quite quitting, or like what led you to say, let's start the time you started, rather than just getting another job? Were you like, I'm quitting, I'm starting? Like,
yeah, I couldn't see myself working for another company.
So that was it. You were like, this is it. I got to start a business.
Yeah,
now.
and I had so much respect for like I said, for the owner of the company. I didn't even want to be competition. I couldn't even imagine myself competition. So I was just like, wow, I'm gonna go out and do my own thing. I didn't even have a plan. My plan, I started hustling as soon as I sent the email. As soon as I sent the email, I was like, all right, I did it. And then that's when I just started making money. Yeah. I just started hustling, making calls, started going through all the legal documents, and like just really.
It's real now. I just made the decision. It's real.
Like it's quick. It's quick. It was a quick decision.
And how was that conversation with your wife? Like you're like, I don't know, you call her babe or whatever you call her. What do you call your wife?
Yeah, babe.
Yeah. So like, you're like, hey, I'm gonna quit. Like, and we're gonna start a business. You know, like, how does that conversation go down, and what's her reaction?
The good thing about her is she believes in me. So when I say I'm gonna do,
it's good to have a wife, that a significant other, man having wife, to believe in you.
Right. Yeah. So she believes in me, and I always asked her. I'd be like, "Can I do it?" And then when she told me, yes, I can do it, then I know I can do it.
That was a green light, bro.
Yeah. So, and I always, like, I still to this day, can I do this?
Hey,
yeah, you can do it.
There's a book by Matthew McConaughey. You can get an ebook too. Okay. I keep telling you ebooks. Huh? Yeah. It's called Green Lights. Okay. All right. And it talks about, I'm sorry to cut you off. It talks about all the wins he had. Very little, like, weird things. Right. But he's like, green light. Like, let's go. Like, got to go to the next level. Got to go. So like, that's you know what I mean? Like, you talked about green lights in prison. That's what it is. But this is a green light.
Yeah, green light. Once I got the green light, I went for it, and I knew one thing. I was like, you know, I'm not gonna quit. I'm gonna go hard. Yeah. And that's what we did. We just started calling, knocking, and thankfully the industry was already in a tough spot. And there was already a shortage of manpower. There was a.
Because you started what?
I started in 2020,
2020?
October 2020.
Okay, so my birthday's in October. Yeah. So end of the year.
COVID.
Right?
COVID's going on.
Yeah. So you're going from a low back up to a high at around that time. Yeah. Right. And so you start. Were you scared? Like, were you terrified? Were you like, this is the unknown? Were you like, I got this. I did it. Like, I did it for this other dude. What was the feeling? Or was it everything?
Once we got past, our last day was a Friday. It was crazy. Our last day was a Friday, and we actually had work the next day on a Saturday.
Okay.
So we worked the very next day from opening the business. But I always felt very grateful. Still to this day, like every time I'm on a job site, every time I'm working, I'm just so grateful. Like I think I'm still like I still process it, and I'm still like, oh man, like I'm here.
Well, yeah.
And it was like I told you yesterday when we're sitting down in a steakhouse, you know, for the listeners. And I told Chris, I was like, you know, hey, I'm here in Arizona. I did.
Dude, those potatoes are bomb.
Yeah, they were great. They were great. But I sit there and I think this is my first time in Arizona. And I go, Chris, I'm in Arizona at a steakhouse talking to you. This is big for me. Yeah. This is big for me. So I accept it, and I'm on a journey. Yeah. I'm on a journey.
Hey, it's big for me too. Yeah. I mean, you flew out here. We're just getting going. We're going slow, getting guests, and you're like, I'll fly out. Yep. So it's big for me too, bro.
That's right. Yeah. And my mindset is to, you know, treat it big. You want to treat it small, then something small will happen. Treat it big, something big's going to happen. So it's a mindset. I've learned in life that our mind is powerful. Yeah. So. Yeah. And when you honor something, it gives back. That's right. It gives back all the time.
So you started the business. Like, did you get any, like when you started the business, did you get any like flack, like say from the in-laws or the parents or like some cousin or something like, hey, why are you starting a business? You should have just kept your job. You're the manager.
Yeah. I mean, I heard that. I did hear that. like I said, people around me know better than to speak like that.
Oh, because then you're fighting. They're afraid of your.
Well, no, it's just negative. Like I don't.
So you're already thinking positive. You're already.
That's
rolling,
right. Like I don't need to hear you tell me what I can't do and all that.
Yeah,
like,
I'll figure it out.
You can't do that. Don't tell me what you can't do. Don't tell me what I love you know, it. Like that. That's it. You. If you have a limited belief, if you're limited in your capabilities, keep that over there.
Bro, I love that you said that's like keep your own limited abilities to yourself. Don't spill that over on me. Let me be me. Let me do me.
That's right.
And let me challenge myself. You don't need to challenge me that your negative thoughts. Right?
Exactly. And that's why like I'm always saying in the grind I trust, because I've learned you could never really lose.
Bro, I love
the only time you lose is when you quit or you stop.
That's grinding.
So as long as you're grinding, as long as you're working, you could never lose.
Yeah.
There's no such thing, because losing is when you stop or you quit.
That's true. That's very true.
And the grind I trust.
Yeah, even if you slow it down a little bit, you're still moving, you're still pumping,
You're still going, you're still walking, you're crawling, whatever it is.
I mean, think about like you hear the whole stories of water. Like once it stops moving, you know, that's when the problems start happening.
That's right.
Stagnant water. You know what I mean? So it's so true. Like so no one gave you any nobody like.
No, I mean I heard, you know, I would hear little comments through people, and I actually had a big support. I had a lot of support in the beginning, and this is a lesson that I'm sure a lot of people learn.
What's that?
But you know, you have the support in the beginning, and then slowly some of the support goes away as soon as people start seeing it actually happen.
Yeah.
And that was like, to me, that was like, oh man, like why are you pulling away now?
Uh-huh.
I need your support now as we're growing, and as you know, like we have momentum, we're building. Quitting would have been your best option, you know, in the beginning. You know.
So like closest people, like they supported you, then they started falling off.
They started falling off, and they fell off through action. They never told me, but you could see them.
So they're helping you. So you're saying like you hired a couple people, they're helping you, and you said they fell off through action. So maybe they stopped working as hard, they stopped performing. Because I mean, I know like, and I'll let you finish right now, but you know, throughout the years I've hired people I know, I'm almost to the point where I don't hire anyone I know. I mean, sometimes I'll help people, like they're down and out, I give them a little job for a month or something. But like I've hired my brother-in-law, like the friend of the friend, the cousin, and they all get fired. Like and then they all mad at me for fire. I'm like, dude, like you didn't even work today. You didn't work yesterday. You're in a J John all day.
That's right.
Like, you know, you came late yesterday. You didn't do this that day, and like you're mad at me.
Right.
So is that like the same thing what you're saying?
Yeah, it was the same thing, and it created weird like I wish I knew better at the time. I wish I knew better at the time, and I used to always hear it, hey, friends and family don't mix with business. I wish I would have really knew that.
Yeah.
Because it created just some awkward relationships.
Yeah.
And you know, to me, the relationship is more important than whatever anyone thinks it is. So
that's what you said is like the relationship is more important than work or anything else. Is like, that's where I'm at. Like, so I don't want to hire anyone because I'd rather keep that relationship. Even if it's not a tight relationship. I'm the same way with customers. That like general contractors or owners that hire us, if I feel like we're building a relationship, a friendship, and we start to banter and argue a little bit, or not banter, but argue, I'll just say, hey, let's just not work together, and let's just maintain this, just have lunch once a month or something. It's much healthier for both of us.
That's right.
It's not worth, you know, fighting, and especially when it's family, you know, and I'm going to assume it was your wife's family. Or was it your family? Because
it was.
Was it both?
Yeah, I'm not gonna say, but it was family. It was family.
I know, like when I went through this, and I hired some of my wife's family, and then I have to let them go, or if I told them no, like that was a little fight, you know, like internal family fight, right? Like, and then they're mad at me, and then she's mad at me a little bit, but she's like, I got your back, and then they're mad at her.
Yeah.
Like, dude, like we didn't do nothing wrong. You should have just showed up.
Well, the beauty of that is she knew that the intentions were pure and they were good intentions.
Yeah.
You know, I think we touched on that yesterday. As long as you're operating with good intention and you're making good decisions, you might make the wrong one, but you can always correct it.
Yeah.
You don't really expect nothing bad to happen. If you make a bad decision, then yeah, bad things will happen. But if you always make the good decision and you have good intentions, the worst that could happen is you made the wrong decision, but you can always fix that. Because
you can grow from the decision, but like you said, the heart, like, helping people. That's what I was saying is I help sometimes I'll hire people and give them a small job. I'll find the guys will get mad at me all the time. Like I'll do it. I'll feel bad for someone they haven't worked for 3 weeks or they need money or something. And I'll hire them like, hey, just try them for 3 weeks. I know they're not going to work out. Like they just need a couple of checks.
Right.
And usually what happens is I hire them, they mess something up and they cost me way more than what it was worth. But it's the heart, like it, and
I just want to, I'm going to put this on the record, but I seen it. I got to spend the time with Chris yesterday and today. And I was like, man, Chris, you create a lot of jobs. And I think that's awesome.
Well, you're doing it too.
Yeah. No, I'm creating a lot of jobs, but like some of the jobs I seen you create, I'm like, that's with a good heart, sir. That's with good heart.
But at the same time, like as you're learning, we're going to be hurt, right?
Yep.
We're going to hurt people, not intentionally. I don't think you hurt people intentionally, but it's the decisions you have to make for the better of your family, your company, the surrounding people that do have your back, right?
Right.
And so when you're protecting people, there's casualties, right? So it's like that's how we roll with this thing. Like, it's kind of like you watch those old movies, like they build the fort, those old Roman days and stuff. Everyone built this fort, right?
Yeah.
And they're just protecting the king.
Yeah.
Right. And the king has to have casualties to protect his kingdom.
Yeah.
And it's not intentional. It's not like, until you see the bad ones that are stealing all the money and stuff. But like, that's just what it is. It's the territory it comes with.
Yeah.
Because you got to decide is like, the first things first is, you're going to take care of yourself, right? Because you got to be able to keep operating, and then you got to make sure your family's good.
Yeah.
Right. And then you got to make sure your employees, your team are good. Right. And then it kind of trickles down, and, I think like as a steward, you're a steward, and, you're getting this business going, and I'm glad like that you're acknowledging, like, you can't always take care of everyone.
Yeah.
You can help them. Sometimes I'll just give them money.
Yeah.
I ain't hire them.
Yeah, no, I'm the same way.
Like, hey, dude,
it's
like,
cheaper.
Hey, yeah, here's $500.
Yep.
You're cool. Do I have to pay you back? Just, give me whenever. $100 a year, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. And sometimes I'll text them, hey, where's that 100 at?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But sometimes it's easier that way. Like, just here's a couple. I don't got 500. Here's $100. So keep it. Don't worry about it. Like, be blessed. Yeah.
I say that all the time. Sometimes you just have to love people from a distance. You get too close to them, or they get too close to you. There's just not a match. But I always try to put the goal on the company. So I'm like, hey, it's the company. Everyone looks at me. Don't look at me. I want you to focus on the company. I want you to focus on the goal.
Yeah.
The goal is what's important. We're here to provide a service. We're here to stay.
Yeah.
And we're here to grow.
The goal is more important than the role.
That's right. That's right.
John Maxwell.
And I seen that you had that on your wall, and it's like, hey, stop focusing on the individual. Don't focus on any individual. Just let's focus on the goal. If, me as the president of the Builder Solution, if you see me not holding up my end, then we can address it.
Yeah. So did you like the Builder Solution? Who thought of that name? I love the name.
I was, I discussed it with my cousin. Which my cousin is my partner in the business. And we were just going over names. Like, what should we say? What should, company names? We went through a few names, but the Builder Solution stood out. Like,
dude, I love the name. Cause I tell all the guys, like, don't talk about the problem. Let's talk about the solution.
Exactly.
Like, quit talking about, like, we know the problem. We can see it in front of our eyes. But what's the solution? Let's go.
Yep.
And you're the solution.
That's right.
Oh man.
Yep. We don't ever want to be the builder's problem. Hey. We always want to be the builder's solution.
Yeah.
You know? So material handling, we want to set the builders up for success. Everyone plays a role in this industry. Everyone plays a role into creating and building these buildings and building communities. And our role is material handling, and we accept that role. We take that role, and we do it to the best of our abilities.
So, like, you know, you got the business, and you're super positive, bro. Like, where does that come from? Like, you know, were your parents like? I mean, I know you went through the system. Do you have a relationship with your biological parents?
The relationship. So I feel now my dad owns a concrete company.
Oh, that's cool.
And when I opened this business, I feel like our relationship, we're starting to form a relationship. We never really had too good of a relationship.
You guys got something in common.
Yeah, but now we have things in common. And a lot of it was just my ignorance and not understanding and not having the right mindset. My dad comes from Mexico.
Yeah, old school.
Yeah, so he did the best he could.
That's it.
You know, so we have to understand that. We have to understand where people come from. We have to understand what people know. And it helped me come to that understanding when I became the president of the Builder Solution, because I know that I'm not perfect. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I want people to accept me for not being perfect, but I will always give effort, and I will always work and move forward.
Yeah. So you've been in business, what, 3 years? Almost 3 years?
Going on my 3rd year in October, yes.
I mean, is your tagline, like, do you have a tagline for the business? I know you use in the grind we trust. That's like the principle you live by.
Yeah.
Do you have something for the Builder Solution? Is that the same thing, or have you created that yet?
No, we
have a lot of work to do.
Yeah. So Chris is helping me. Chris is definitely helping me. But yeah, we're gonna I forgot what I put. I put quality work. I forgot, but yeah, we need to get.
Hey,
something.
So we created a tagline when I started, and I actually what's the word, like, copyrighted it. There's another word for it. Through the state, it's called taking excellence to the extreme. Taking excellence to the extreme. That's our slogan, right?
Yeah.
So, and then when we did it, it was like a couple of years later. This big drywall company rebranded themselves, and they put like, taking excellence to the next level or something.
Yeah.
Like, biters, like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? And because we're extreme drywall, right? Extreme drywall concept, extreme painting.
Right.
We got extreme contracting. We're gonna get into the, like, you know, other things, extreme brand type thing.
Right.
But no, it's good, man. Like, everything you're doing is really good, bro. Like, your mindset is cool. You know, your values. You're a Christian.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, like, listen, you know, as a like, my beliefs, for me, and I think this is for you. You know, everything I value, like, is around God. What, like, is that, like, are you in that same world, like, you know?
Yeah,
we'll touch bases on this a little bit.
Yeah, I try to connect with God. I always tell my wife, man, and I don't even know if I should say this or
say whatever you want to say.
But I'm like, what also helps me keep focus and this helps me, you know, pros and cons. Not really cons. I would say this just helps me. But I know that this is temporary. This is temporary. Everything here is temporary. I always tell my wife, I was like, I don't want to go to hell.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't want to go to hell. And, you know, as you do work hard and you do level up, access to things become easier, or, you know, temptations become stronger. But you also become stronger too, you know.
Yeah. You should.
Right. And but that's my thing, is I always stay focused, because I know the position that I'm in was definitely not because I'm sitting on a master's degree of some sort. It was a position that that God put me in. And I've learned, right? So I like to think leadership's so important. Sometimes you're a great leader and you're quarterbacking all these things, and sometimes the player will think they're the ones running the whole game.
Yeah.
Even though it's coming from a leadership position or the coach or whatnot. And sometimes you have to take that player out because now they're no longer a good fit, or they're leading the team to destruction, right? So I know that I'm that like lead player. I'm that lead man that God trusts. And the moment that I think it's me, and I think that I'm the one doing it all, then I'm going to be removed from the position because I'm no longer helping the team elevate.
Yeah.
And I got to go.
No, it's true. It's true. So you're a steward, bro. Like, God trusted you, right? He's going to only give us what we can handle. You know, some people say the universe, whatever. We say God, right? And, you know, so for us to be able to handle more, we have to do a little bit more. We got to keep growing a little bit more. And when we think we've done enough, we got to do it some more, right? Because everything is about legacy. Like, everything you're ever going to do, Ignacio, from this day forward is about legacy. It's not about you. It's not about your wife. It's not about your children. It's not about your grandchildren, but it's about your great-grandchildren and their children and their children. You know, there's a song, The Blessing. You ever heard that song? And their children and their children's children. It's a Christian song. And it talks about the blessing. And so it's our job to leave a legacy, right? You know, and it starts with our children and our wife. But if we got to look a little bit past them, if we want to leave the legacy for our great-great-great-grandchildren, or at least great-grandchildren, or at least grandchildren.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
You know, I mean, your values are strong, bro. Like, your self-belief is strong. Your belief in God is strong. You know, your principles are strong, bro, in the Grindery Trust. Like, that's a good thing to stand by, bro.
Yeah.
You know, and so, like, what do you do to maintain your growth in yourself? You know, like, so people are listening, you know, what are some things that you're doing, you know, to keep that mind strong and keep, you know, firing on all cylinders mentally?
I think I mean, it's a journey.
Yeah.
So now, I mean, I just embrace the journey. So now it's just what I do. Right.
Yeah. Are you listening to anything or reading anything?
Yeah, I
anything?
I do like to listen to audiobooks.
Yeah.
I listen to a lot of motivational videos.
Okay. Who's your favorite motivation guy? Eric Thomas?
Eric Thomas.
Eric Thomas
is my guy.
Yeah.
That's my guy. That's why I like your extreme, because he has one there. He's like, extreme effort. Extreme effort. Yeah.
Eric Thomas. Yeah, he's on top of it right now.
Yeah, everything extreme. So that's where your match.
Yeah, I was extreme before he was.
Yeah,
he's much bigger than me.
Well, I like that, you know, extreme effort. But yeah, he's definitely one of my guys. My go-tos, TD Jakes.
Oh, TD Jakes is really good.
Yeah, TD Jakes is a good one.
So he's a legend, and he's killing it. He's a good entrepreneur.
Yeah,
really good. He's a bishop, pastor, whatever you want to call him, but he's killing it.
Yeah, I think it depends on where I want to go to, like
That's
Les
true.
Brown. You know, what kind of motivation?
Hey, Les Brown's funny, dude.
Yeah.
What did he say, baby mama or something, baby? He talks about his mom. He's what is his name? Like he has like a tagline that includes his mom, like he's the baby of his mom. I forgot.
I never.
We met Les Brown. He's cool. He has this little pop. My father-in-law has this little popper, and you press it, and it would say a saying from Les Brown.
Okay.
He's really good. He was a radio host. You hear the?
Yeah. I heard his story. I heard a little bit about it.
He's really good.
Yeah, I like Les Brown, but I like to wake up in the morning. I believe that our minds have to be programmed. So the first thing I'm doing is I'm programming my mind positive. I want to be strong.
Yeah.
I understand that I'm a leader. I think once you accept your role as a leader, you know what has to be done.
Yeah. Yeah.
So programming my mind, get my body right, and then usually how I start my day is how I'm going to end my day. So I like to start strong.
Now, like in your business, are you trying to implement some of those techniques you're learning from, say, like an ET or TD Jakes, or like those sayings, those.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You know.
Yeah, I try to treat the team like athletes.
Yeah.
And watching the recovery, watching their mindset, who are they around? Because I am in a performance. Well, we all are, but ours is heavy. And
you're lifting all day, bro.
Lifting all day. You got to have a strong mind. You got to have a strong body. It's easy. A lot of these guys are mentally broken, but you could push through that. And you have to embrace it. You have to be a strong person, and you have to want to serve others.
So, like, what are as far as the business, and you're inspiring your team now. You're learning. You're growing. What are some of the goals for your business? Where do you want to take this thing? We know you're almost 3 years in. What's the future look like for the Builder Solution?
I would like to go regional, maybe Arizona. Put a crew out here in Arizona, just one step at a time. I would like to just start one spot at a time. Right now we're in Northern California. Maybe this is a blessing. Maybe this is an opportunity. I'm sitting in front of you.
Hey, do you have Ruben's number, FBM?
Ruben, no, I don't. And maybe the next step is Arizona, and something has always led me to Arizona, and you just never know.
Let's talk to some of these guys. I haven't heard of it, but I'm also haven't been looking for it, dude. I'd partner up with you if we could do it here.
Right.
Yeah. So like you have let's see, do I have Ruben's number? Ruben Mendoza. Should I text him, bro? Should we call him? I'm gonna text him. I'll text him. He knows who I am.
All right.
I'm gonna text him and say, "Hey, do you guys do this here?" I didn't even know they did it.
Yeah, and tell him you're pro. Tell him you're for it.
Do I tell him who you are? Does he know you? Has he ever met you? Does he know who you guys are?
I've never met him.
All right.
We do a little bit of work for them. I don't know if he knows who. I mean, I'm sure the man.
What we'll do is when we're done, tell me who you're doing work for over there.
Okay.
And then I'll drop their name to him.
Yep.
And then that way they'll know who's who.
Yep.
So the goal is to keep growing. Maybe. So you're in one city right now.
Well, we service all of Northern California.
So like San Jose, San Francisco. Where else?
Man, we've gone everywhere. We've gone.
Name some cities.
Sacramento, Roseville, Dublin. Everywhere, almost the whole Northern California.
So right now, San Francisco's getting a lot of heat, right?
Right.
In the press, like a lot of heat. I just seen an article today that a big developer just gave up his hotel, massive hotel. I don't know if you've seen that. Just gave it back to the bank, bro. Massive. It's supposed to be like, it's like one of the biggest things. Like, why did this happen? Like what? Like San Francisco, is it as bad as people say it is?
I see a slowdown in San Francisco over the years. I'm definitely seeing a difference.
That's the laws and stuff like that. Is the homelessness gone up like the paper say?
Yeah, they've always been pretty bad with the homeless, but yeah, now they're.
Is it next level?
Yeah, it is, and they're tough. We did a job the other day, and
the homeless dudes are tough.
Yeah, we did a job, and they put feces on the material.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah, it was like.
So they're just angry homeless dudes.
They're angry.
Now, are they getting relocated from another city, or are they just all kind of going there?
I don't know.
You're over there, bro. You need to find out what's going on with all this. We need some.
Some answers.
Yeah, we need some answers now, bro.
No, I see it. I see what they're doing.
Some recon in there.
Yeah, I would like to team with somebody. If I could help in any way, I'll definitely help. I don't know if I'm the one.
And nobody's helping the homeless over there.
I'm sure there are. I'm sure there are people helping them. I'm sure there are. What kind of impact that's having?
Yeah. Because there's all different levels of homelessness. Like I told you, we're doing an outreach, and I told our church, I said, listen, because some people don't like to do like the main homeless, like in the trenches homeless outreach, and so what I told them, I go, we're gonna take care of it all. There's levels of this. Like there's that young family or old family that just are about to become homeless. They're about to lose everything, or now there's that next level where they're in their car now, right? Or Then there's the next level where, you know, and it goes down to like to the bottom where they're putting feces on drywall.
Yeah,
Right?
just angry. Maybe not all there. Yeah,
some are not. Either too much drugs or just mental incompatibility.
Maybe. I mean, this is just a thought, but I think we just have to catch it earlier.
That's what I'm talking about.
like you know, there's these.
That's what I mean. Is like you know, so like the inflation caused rent increases, right? We had so this caused a lot of homelessness, right? So catching earlier is a solution. That's what I'm saying is that's going to be more my focus as you know, from my side. I created an outreach director, and he likes to do more in-depth in the trenches homeless, and I'm like, okay, how do we like stop them at the first level, at the second level? Like, how do we catch them by, like, when they're in their car, how do we get them out of their car?
That's right.
You know, because they're in their car, they're about to lose their car now, and then it's lights out. Like, it's game over. You know, so like, how do we get them, you know, out of that? You know, from before they get all the way down, because like I've been in the trenches like myself, and once you lose the confidence, bro, it's tough. You know, it's tough because you have no more confidence to walk past someone, to go and apply for a job, you have no confidence in yourself or your abilities. Right. You know what I mean? You're nothing no more.
Yeah. And I know there's some heavy drugs out there. I see the side effects out there. And
dude, they're smoking that fentanyl everywhere. Bro.
Yeah. I'm just looking. I'm like,
hey, we went to the park, and I should post pictures on my thing. We posted them on our church. We went to the park, like a fishing park, and they were just smoking the dope. Like there's like 20 of us, like right there. Open, no shame, or maybe they just turned their head, you know, like, I'm like, man, these dudes are hardcore. Like, you know, I was running the streets a little bit when I was younger, but I had I carried a little bit, like, you know, like, and I'm like, man, this fentanyl stuff has got them a mess.
Yeah, well, I told you that was, you know, the hotel I was staying at. This is my first time in Arizona, so I walked down to the gas station.
For anyone watching, he is staying on Van Buren.
Yeah,
he didn't know.
I didn't know.
From the airport to Van Buren.
Yeah, I just grabbed the closest hotel near the airport, got the shuttle in, and then I walked to the gas station. I seen this lady. She went in, got a big gulp cup, filled herself up, grabbed some chips, and just walked out.
Yeah. Yeah,
and I was like, man.
It's crazy. How
that's why I told you I was
fair game.
I was on the phone with my wife, and I was like, hey, I think I'm in a bad neighborhood. Yeah, so
like, I'll go back. Because it's something, you know, it doesn't matter, you know.
But I refused to pay $2 for a water like this, so I walked to the gas station to get a gallon of water for like $3.
How does that work?
So
you know, like, so tell us, like, I think your main hobby, you got a hobby, right? And it's kind of a lifestyle. You like, I guess I'd call it a lifestyle for you. Right. You know, you're fit, you're a big dude. Yeah. You've been working out probably since you were a kid.
Yep.
I stopped at, you know, 20. It should have kept going. You're gonna help me.
Yeah.
And so right now you're into MMA. You're 32, right?
Yep.
And so you're fighting.
Yep.
Like, you're an old dude compared to those guys.
I know.
How does that look? Like, do people tell you that? What's that, old man? Do your training partners are like, hey, old man?
I'm sure they say something.
Until you smash them?
I'm sure they say it when I'm not around or whatnot. But the crazy idea came when I told you my plan was to open a business or be a professional fighter. And I didn't want to have that limitation on me. I was like, man, you know, you said that you could be a professional fighter. Well, why don't you go out there and do it? You open the business, and now go and go be a professional fighter. And a lot of it is just I guess that's my way of, you know, giving back as well, is just giving hope to people, you know. And it is a lifestyle 100%, but it's more of a lifestyle of just showing people of what's possible.
Do you got like you got videos of you working out and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Or what are they on your Instagram, Facebook?
Not too. I mean, more weight training. So on Instagram.
So what's your Instagram?
Ignacio_lifts. That's my private page. You know, but
no one can see it.
Well, no, they can see it. It's open.
It's not private.
Yeah, no, I mean it's an open page. I don't want no one going on there.
How are they gonna go on there right now?
I'm a.
But it's open.
Yeah,
so
it's open.
It's open, bro.
It's
fair
open.
Game.
Yeah, it's open. I keep it open because again, I just like to show people that there'll be years of consistency on there.
Yeah,
and that's why I kept the Instagram post, because you could see from when I first started nothing's changed. Except for the level up. The only thing that's changed over time is my positioning, my growth. So I've, just kind of kept the same game plan, work hard. And that's just.
So you're doing what? Muay Thai, kickboxing?
Yeah, like
boxing,
kickboxing,
wrestling,
boxing,
jiu-jitsu?
and jiu-jitsu. Yeah.
Are you doing wrestling too, or just jiu-jitsu?
Jiu-jitsu right now.
Yeah, which is rolling and
right.
gi. Are you doing gi?
Yeah, I'm doing gi. Yeah.
You gonna go for a belt? You do any tournaments?
Not yet. Not any jiu-jitsu tournaments. I am interested in doing them. I'm going to start doing the jiu-jitsu tournaments just to kind of, it helps with the mindset, I believe.
My friend got into it. He just moved out of state probably a year ago, but he started gi.
Yeah.
And, I think he's super heavyweight, big dude. He's like 6'4", like 280. Oh, he was a football player, and he was small, a small football player.
Right.
And but he started jiu-jitsu and he started doing some tournaments. He was winning, dude. It was like
nice.
Yeah, it was cool. He'd win and he'd be happy and he was working out, fit,
It's great for the mind, the body.
If it makes you feel good, right?
Yeah.
As long as it's productive, right?
Exactly.
So you got I think you got a fight coming up?
Yeah, we're looking for a fight July 22nd or July 29th.
So end of July you're fighting.
Yeah.
California.
Yeah, California.
The northern area.
Yeah.
San Francisco or whatever.
Believe July 22nd in Sacramento and July 29th in Visalia. Not sure.
Are those close to each other?
No, two different parts.
But Northern
California. Yeah. Once you go to Visalia, you're kind of going Central Valley, south.
I've never been over there. I've been to San Francisco once, and I've been to San Jose once, and it was with the same Desert Building took us. L&W took us.
Okay.
We went to the insulation plant. They make insulation in San Jose, and then there was like
Owens Corning.
We went to Owens Corning, and there was like 20 of us, and then from there we went to the San Francisco Giants baseball game.
Nice.
That was cool.
Nice.
That's hardcore.
Yeah. That's cool that they did that.
San Francisco has hardcore fans.
Yeah, they do.
Like hardcore.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
The whole Bay Area does.
Oh, dude.
Oakland and San Francisco, they love sports.
And so you grew up in the Bay Area?
Yeah.
So you I loved a lot of the old rappers from the Bay Area.
Yeah.
But you were still young. You're still
I mean I still listen to I'm not quite sure which ones you're talking about, but I
the old school ones, Bay Area, were like Too Short, E40.
Yeah. I listened to.
You had a lot of those underground guys coming out of there.
Yeah.
I used to like all those guys because it was just a different vibe.
Yeah.
It was fast. It wasn't as aggressive,
right?
As the gangster rap or some of the East Coast rap or whatever.
Right.
It was just a different thing. So MMA, you got a fight coming up, So what's something that someone told you that maybe like the best piece of advice, like what, like it just like made you think or just changed the game for you, or and you can give them credit. Maybe someone else can hear that and like, man, that's killer.
I'm sure I've received a lot of great advice.
Yeah.
Over my lifetime. I don't know if there was like one specific moment where that's just kind of hit me. I've had big impacts through people. Like I've met some people that have had a big impact on me.
Yeah. Well, because sometimes stuff just goes past you, but it goes through you, and you like your subconscious catches it, right?
Yeah,
we don't even know we knew it. Like,
right.
You think you thought of it, and someone told you it like 3 weeks before.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's the truth. That's the truth.
Somebody said something. There's a lot of stuff. Same thing for me is like, I'm getting impacted with words all the time, and I probably won't credit anybody because I forgot they even said it. Or I didn't even hear them say it, and they deserve all the credit.
Yeah. No, I always try to, I always try to, like, if I do pick up something that I haven't heard and I heard it for someone, I definitely try to give the credit where credit's due. I don't think there's enough of that, right? Like I think credit, hey, give people their credit.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I want to give you credit, bro, because like you came out of the rut. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you were in prison, you know, and dude, you're marked off, bro. You're marked off. You know, it's like you were like your type, me, you were marked off, bro. Like you were put for dead. You were, you know, the government, the system had you were like what, the excommunicado, like in you know, the show, whatever the movie is, what's his name? But like, and you came back, bro. Like, dude, so commendable.
Yeah.
So, like think about like the life you're giving your kids, and not even about the money or the business, but the fact that you decided to make a change at an early age and say, I'm done.
Oh, I look at my son and I'm like, I was going through the system when I was your age, and I'm like, ooh.
Yeah.
Like,
no,
that's what I mean. You don't know nothing. Like
he's lucky, he's blessed, bro.
Yeah. Like
it doesn't matter if they're spoiled, and I mean, obviously, you know, that'll impact them, but they're blessed. You know, they don't like I had someone tell me like, so my son, I never made him work in the field. He didn't want to. I probably could have made him, right? And this guy comes up to us a couple years ago and he goes, you need to make your son work in the field. You know, so he can learn. I'm like, dude, first of all, who are you to tell me what I need to do?
Right.
Number two is that's not his style. Like, he's not grindy, and I don't like. Why don't I just put him in the office? Let him learn how to do the business.
That's right.
You know, like it's the field's not for everybody. You know,
right.
But the fact that you like made those changes, bro. You know, you give your kids an opportunity. You know, you gave your wife like that. Your wife, you gave your wife purpose, bro. You know, she gave you purpose. You know. And like, think about like where you could have been. All you have to do is look at everyone you knew.
Yeah, right? I do think about that because I have some friends, and I know some guys that we were incarcerated around the same time. And there was one I could think of off the back of my head, but 14 years old, 2 life sentences. And I think I'm out here. I'm in Arizona. I'm on a podcast. I'm talking to you, and he's still incarcerated.
Yeah. For
some charges he did when he was
a baby, didn't know any better.
Still probably doesn't know any better. Still probably doesn't. But I that's why I like exposure, and our minds are just, they're so powerful.
Dude, it's key. Like, you know, all the stuff that goes down, you know, you got government, you got schooling issues, you got business issues, you got all these things, right? And it's like, all we have to do is just work on our minds. That's it. That gets us one step closer to living a better life. I tell people, live your best life now. Like, it starts now, right? You have to think about tomorrow, but it starts now.
Right.
Like, don't think like, well, I'll do it tomorrow because I'm thinking about tomorrow. No, start it now. Think about tomorrow. Start now. And I think that stuff you've done, you know, like, you know, you're growing the business. You took a chance on that.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's going to pay off. You know, maybe it changes and evolves. You know, everything evolves. If you're growing, you know, it'll evolve. Maybe something bigger, better. Maybe the same industry. Maybe a few things integrated. You know, but I love it, bro. Like,
I told you too. Like, when we first started, our goal, our income goal, and our what we wanted to make, and it was just so level. I mean, just off of that, based off our original assumptions of what I thought, we already surpassed that.
Yeah.
And that's why now I just enjoy the journey. I'm loving it. I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna do, you know, I do actions that I know produce results.
Yeah.
So that's why it's just the journey. I'm gonna continue to do the actions that I know are gonna produce the results.
Yeah.
And
so
I'm loving it.
As you're on the journey, don't forget, like the wall says right there, bro, sow seeds.
Yep.
Like, you know, you just gotta sow into people.
Right.
So give.
Yeah.
You know, you learn something, some like a nugget of wisdom. So like one thing I would do is if I learned a quote or I thought of something, I'm texting it, I'm posting it. You know, that's sowing a seed. You're giving back.
That's right.
So I tell people, if you learn something, give it back. Give it to somebody. Let it keep going. Like, That I think, help someone with, we get a lot of people, they want loans and stuff. We give a lot of loans. We're like a little bank over here.
Right.
You got like, I've given a few cars away. We've done a lot of free jobs,
nice.
100 free jobs. It's like, how can we give to the next person,
Right.
And so like, as you're growing, as I'm growing, the goal is like to give more, to do more, to be more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, as we start to end this podcast, what would be something you would tell that young up and coming entrepreneur or leader, that person that maybe wants to take the next step of leadership in their business or where they're working? What would you tell that person? They're all ages, right? Because becoming an entrepreneur doesn't mean you're young. You can be an older woman or older man. Becoming a leader at the next level, you could be an older woman or older man. So what would you tell that person?
I think the most important part is the commitment, the decision, and then the commitment. Just keep going. You got to really commit to it. Once you're 100%, like, this is what I'm doing, not maybe, not if, but this is what I'm going to do. I think you're in a good place. And then you start doing it. And then you understand that it's going to take time.
Yeah. Yeah.
No matter what, it's going to take time. However long it takes, enjoy the drive. Put it in cruise control, go. Sometimes you have to slow down. Sometimes you have to speed up, adjust, but keep your foot on the pedal.
Yeah. Yeah. So commit to the decision, knowing it's going to take time.
It's going to take time. And I think as long as you have the right intentions, you have good intentions, you're doing the right things, actions that are going to produce results, you're in a good place. Then you let it work out itself. It's going to work out. If I eat healthy and I exercise, I'm going to look fit.
Bro, I'm going to start. You're
going
to get me on a journey.
Exactly. But the business is the same thing. You're doing the right thing. You're treating people right. You're doing great work. It'll reflect in your business.
Yeah. Yeah. So there it is, guys. Like, Ignacio, man, it's been an honor to have you here. I got to learn a lot, especially about fitness. You're super fit, bro. You're learning. You're coming. You kind of remind me of me. I'll be 43. Like, your story is very similar. Not to say I'm anything better than you, but I'm a little older than you.
No, you are. That's why I think the relationship works out perfect.
Yeah, I'm a little older than you.
We hit it off good. I thought it was great.
It reminds me, when you came out here, it reminds me of when I took a chance and I got my mentor. He's about 10 years older than me. The same thing is, like, I was willing to fly out to him. I'd honor him, and he was similar path. I think you're gonna do good things, bro.
I appreciate that.
Keep God first and keep growing, bro.
I appreciate it. And the hospitality was great. Thank you for your time. You were great to me. I got to see who you are. I get to see it. The beauty of it is every time you take me around somewhere, the words, whatever you tell me, doesn't mean nothing because I could see it.
I took you to
right,
bro.
But I got to see your people. I got to see some family, and it's a big reflection of you. So I think you're a great person.
Hey, well, thank you everybody for watching. You guys be blessed. Thank you. We'll see you next time.
Sure.